Hello everyone and welcome to the Sporty Show. I'm Alex Ashmore. The Champions League is back. Real Madrid versus AC Milan by Leverkusen and Liverpool at Anfield. But third and most important thing going on this evening is that Klinton is on the show. As always, Klinton, how are you doing?
Yeah, that's the kind of introduction I love, man. You just said one of the most important things happening on the show is the fact that...
One of.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Get out, man. Get out, yeah. The normal stuff is about Klinton Code. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very beautiful day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice because Real Madrid will be eventually facing a very tough team, and they will be grabbing a proper win on this one, and I cannot wait. Alex, what's going on, man?
Well, there's a lot going on this week, especially on SportyTV. So, right after this, we have Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle against Portsmouth in the Championship at 9 o'clock. Moving into Wednesday, we have more Championship action. Preston facing Jobe Bellingham's Sunderland at 9 o'clock. Wednesday, we also have Argentine Primera Division, Boca Juniors against Godoy Cruz. Thursday, we have Instituto against River Plate, and then West Brom versus Burnley in the Championship at 9 o'clock. Coming into the weekend, we have Al Hilal against Al Ettifaq on Friday afternoon at 3:45. We have Watford versus Oxford United at 9 o'clock, and Cardiff City against Blackburn at 1:30 on Saturday. Going into the Premier League, we have West Ham versus Everton at 3:30, Leipzig against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Cercle Bruges against Anderlecht at 1:30 on Sunday. And then to finish off the weekend, we've got some La Liga action. We've got Real Valladolid against Athletic Club at 6:30, and the big one, Inter Milan against Napoli at 8:45. Klinton, it's an exciting week of football on SportyTV.
Absolutely, man. The one I cannot really wait for. What's the one again?
Inter Milan versus Napoli.
Damn, man, that's going to be a very crazy, rugged match, man. Hey, by the way, I was happy with what Ademola Lookman did to Napoli. I said it yesterday, and I'm hoping that somebody, Milan, would, give them some kind of top-up. I mean, for what it did to my boy Osimhen.
Well, a man who might be looking out for revenge, not just yet, obviously. Arsenal have got a little time to wait before they start playing. We've got Gary all the way from Accra in Ghana. Gary, how's it going?
The going is good, thank you. Good evening. Hi, everybody. Hi, Klinton.
Hello, Gary. Gary, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué tal, amigo?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Almost identical levels of Spanish.
No.
Yeah, how long have you been living in Spain?
No, that is an insult to me. Like, for all this hard work I've been putting in, that's an insult. Honestly, don't do that next time, man. Now, for all our fans hoping that the game would come on the channel, please continue waiting. It might come, it might not. But I would advise you to look forward to the channel. You never know.
Yes. Well, right after this, Klinton and I are going to be watching all of the action this evening. Real Madrid against AC Milan.
We are going to be watching it together, not just me and you.
Yeah.
All of us are going to be watching.
Klinton's going to be eating all of his nuts. I'm going to be sitting there disgusted at how quickly he's eating them. And hopefully we'll have a goal fest this evening. We do have someone at the Bernabeu. We're joined by the one and only Lucas Jimenez, his Sporty Show debut. Lucas, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, hi Alex, hi Gary, hi Klinton. How are you? I'm so happy to be here.
I mean, I could tell from your voice, obviously, you were extremely happy. Just before we went on the show, you said you've done about 8,200 selfies at the Bernabeu. I mean, I'm hoping to see one of them after the show. Lucas, talk to us though. What does it feel like? What's the aura, at the Bernabeu right now? What's happening? What are the fans thinking, or what are they?
Honestly, Klinton. Yeah, honestly, Klinton is so busy over here. I mean, you have come here so many times. I guess you know how this is. But there's like so many people also, the Rossoneri fans, they are so loud. I honestly don't know how many have come over here. I heard that there are 4,000 spectators going to come inside of the stadium with the ticket, but I don't know how many they are going to be left out. And I'm telling you something, they are really, really loud. But other than that, people are great. They're having a fun time right now. There's still 1 hour for the match to begin, so here we are. I'm going to tell you all about it.
It's Champions League night at the Bernabeu, Lucas. It's an exciting occasion. We know what Champions League nights are like at the Bernabeu. We've seen the teams. Do you want to talk us through Carlo Ancelotti's selection for his starting 11?
Absolutely, I got them right here. So, yesterday Carlo Ancelotti in the press conference, he said that he came to a conclusion, and the conclusion was that after Real Madrid, losing 0-4 here at the Santiago Bernabeu, his conclusion was that there was a defensive problem. Well, in the lineup for today, I'm not seeing many changes from that side that faced Barcelona the other day. Lunin, goalkeeper, of course, Thibaut Courtois is injured. Right back, Lucas Vázquez with Eder Militao, Rudiger and Ferland Mendy, exactly the same defense as against Barcelona a week and a half ago. Then we can see the first change in the lineup. We have Luka Modric stepping in. Eduardo Camavinga is going to be a substitute today. And then it's exactly the same squad. Tchouaméni, Valverde and Jude Bellingham, and then up in front, Kylian Mbappe and of course Vinicius Junior.
Quite the star-studded lineup there, Klinton.
I mean, this is the first time we've seen such a star-studded lineup, and they've ended up not receiving 4-0. Now, I mean, he did mention that the opposition fans are pretty much very loud. I don't know if they were as loud as Barcelona fans when I was at the stadium there. It was literally very, it was almost like, I say electric. It was like a bomb blast. They didn't. And I feel like the fans did help Barcelona win the game, though, because if you were in the stadium, just that little portion of Barcelona fans, they were almost taking the whole of the Real Madrid fans at the stadium that day. Now, Lucas, talk to me. Have you spoken to any of the fans? I'm talking about your opposition fans, obviously. What are they feeling like? Do they feel like they are going to be some kind of Pro Max or the Mini of Barcelona from weeks ago? What's the situation so far?
If I'm completely honest, I haven't talked to any Milan fan. They are all in one area, which we haven't been able to access right now. But after the match, if you want it, I can speak to all of them after they lose this game.
It's confident. It's confident. Lucas, we know, I've said this before, we know how special nights are here in Madrid in the Champions League at the Santiago Bernabeu. Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius, Valverde, Bellingham, I could go on. The names don't stop. This is a star-studded team. What's your prediction for tonight's game?
You mentioned so many stars, but if we go back to the previous Champions League match against Borussia Dortmund, the star was Lucas Vázquez. Lucas Vázquez was the one who scored the third goal, so it's everyone. Like, anyone can score. It can be a very, very close match. If you ask me about my prediction here, our friend's prediction is a 5-1, I think, but my prediction is not going to have so many goals, because if you check all of the stats, AC Milan, they have only conceded more than 2 goals once this season, and it was against Liverpool. So, I mean, if you add them, then I think it makes sense. So if there's a team that can score more than 2 goals against this AC Milan, I guess it's going to be Real Madrid, but I don't see that happening today. For me, it's going to be a 2-0 or maybe 2-1 if the match is quite close at the end, but I'm going to stick with the 2-1.
Well, 2-1, I think Real Madrid fans will be happy with that. Carlo Ancelotti as well, and the players. Gary, I'm going to come to you for this one.
I wanted to ask him a question. I wanted to ask Lucas a question before he runs off. Hi, Lucas. Hope you're well. I can see that it's really, really buzzing there. Yeah, how do you think Real Madrid fans in general are feeling after the defeat to Barcelona? Are they treating this as a very separate game, or are they going to have a hangover from the Barcelona defeat?
I think they are still in this hangover, mainly because when we were watching the team buses coming to the Santiago Bernabeu, we heard some songs from the Real Madrid fan base mentioning Barcelona. So you can see that that match, of course, it was 1 week and a half ago, and it was their last match here at the Santiago Bernabeu. So it's still very present, and I believe it's going to be still very present if Real Madrid does not manage to get a result from this match. So, of course, they were singing some songs that I'm not going to replicate to you, of course, because they mentioned quite a few words that I cannot... No, sorry. Another day, Klinton, for sure. But I can tell you that it's still really, really present, and if Carlo Ancelotti's side don't get a result from this match, it can be a turning point.
We've been talking about this result against Barcelona, Klinton, and how Real Madrid can turn things around. What do you think Carlo Ancelotti's message to the players would have been before the game. Obviously, you know, there's 50 minutes or so, just under an hour before kick-off. The Champions League nights is where the big players stand out. This is where teams like Real Madrid, you know, that's what they're made of. What do you think he would have said to his players before this evening?
I mean, he would have said to them that, yo, you guys just seen what happened to Ten Hag, yeah? If you guys make what happened to Ten Hag happen to me, listen, I will cost all of you. Like, you guys are like my grandkids. I will beat the hell out of you. You better win this game. Win this game. Like, I mean, now, but Lucas, just before you leave, I was just going to say, please, you know, whichever way this game goes, let's say it goes against Real Madrid or it goes against Milan, please don't interview the losing fan, okay? I mean, you have only, Alex did say that this is your debut, and we wouldn't want your debut to be the end of it at the same time, okay? Just make sure you're being safe. All right, mate?
Don't worry. I'll be chill. Thank you, Klinton, for the advice. I really appreciate it.
He should be all right. Hopefully, the AC Milan fans are well behaved, and you know it should be a fantastic game, Lucas. I think before I do let you go, one last final question. You know, these are the two most successful teams in the competition's history. You know, AC Milan winning 7 trophies, Real Madrid, of course, 15, winning the most recent one in London against Borussia Dortmund. What do you think about AC Milan? Do you think they can pull off an upset, or is that, you know, completely off the cards? Could you see an AC Milan win happening?
You know, they have had very, very difficult fixtures here in this Champions League. They faced Liverpool, already faced Bayer Leverkusen, with both matches ending on a defeat. But now they come from a 3-1 win against Club Brugge. So, you know, anything can happen. We have seen Stuttgart coming here, which you would say that Stuttgart are a lower team against Milan, let's say, in this comparison. So, and they even nearly got a result. Even Real Madrid went to Lille and they got a defeat. So in this Champions League, with a new format especially, anything can happen. This is AC Milan. It's a team that you really need to consider, even though right now they are 7th in Serie A. This is a team that you really need to be careful, and especially with this attacking trio with Pulisic, Morata, and even Samu Chukwueze if he can come in at the second half.
Some very good players there, Lucas. And, well, I'm going to let you go unless anyone has any last questions before we let him go and enjoy the Bernabeu crowd. Klinton, you want to let him go, or do you have a final question?
No, I mean, I feel like for his debut, that's a lot of questions already. So, Lucas, yeah, thank you very much for speaking, and hopefully we get to catch you again.
Of course, and it's fine. You can ask me as many questions as you want, Klinton. Don't
Wow,
worry.
this guy has to.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great show.
Thank you very much, Lucas. I obviously think this is, the biggest game of the night. Real Madrid looking to come back after that that defeat against Barcelona. You look at this game, and Carlo Ancelotti will know the importance of it. What's the key for victory for Real Madrid for you tonight, Klinton? Obviously we've seen the problems they've perhaps had with Vinicius and Mbappe not quite gelling the way that we thought they would. At the beginning of the season, I think both you and I thought that we would be, seeing a Real Madrid that were even better than last season. What do you think for them tonight? What would you like to see from Mbappe and Vinicius tonight? Well,
I mean, the truth is, in as much as I would love to see something special, I'm still not seeing it happening tonight. If you ask me for my score prediction in this, sorry to Makinde, who is literally our online assistant. Sorry, man. I feel like, Real Madrid would be having a really tough one today, and I still see them losing the game at the same time. This Milan, this is not a joke, man. This is... Okay. Let me tell you, if Real Madrid will be winning this game, let me tell you what they need to do. They need to imagine that Mbappe is non-existent. No, it's that simple. They just need to imagine that this was last season. They just need to feel like, listen, we are just going to play, and we are playing just like we are Real Madrid. But what's still going to happen now is, and this is where it's even getting tougher, because they've lost, 4-0 in the Bernabeu against Barcelona. The question is, what would be their confidence level? Because this thing can go either way. It can force them into playing, they should be playing, or you can even make them play worse. Okay, so because they might be feeling now, okay, what are the fans are probably still upset about the fact that the El Clasico went the way it went, and now they have this is the Champions League football. The game that they could have played that probably would have boosted their confidence, they didn't play it. Why? Because of obviously the natural disaster that did happen. But going into from Barcelona to this one, oh la la, honestly. I just can't wait for this game to start already because I really want to see what's going to happen right here. But if there's anything, God, I beg, oh, God, I beg. I don't want to use my mouth to go and make Real Madrid lose. But I'm so scared for Real Madrid. I'm scared for Real Madrid. I want Real Madrid to win. Honestly, Real Madrid is my team. I know people don't. People tend not to believe. I know you say I'm associated to Manchester United, I'm associated to Arsenal, I'm associated to Chelsea. But listen, Real Madrid is the city where I am. This is my club. The players have done stuff with them. You know, I've been privileged, and I just want to see them win. But when I see the kind of game they are playing in this season, no, they're not making me proud, and I'm so scared about this game.
Well, there's a nice little bit of showing off there from Klinton. All of his lovely work doing with the Real Madrid players.
You know, what do you call it?
Go for it, Gary. What were you going to say?
Yes. I'm looking at the defensive side, like you said. Carlo Ancelotti mentioned, or it was rather Lucas who mentioned that, you know, in the build-up to this game, Carlo had said his analysis of the Barca defeat told him that it was a defensive lapse that caused it. But, you know, little has changed in the starting lineup. But that's true. They've had a week of intense training, intense, postmortem exercises to see what the problem is. I'm thinking that is why they are confident that they might have sorted those issues against Milan. Because, again, like Lucas said, Milan's scoring record has been quite good. You know, but let's not forget that Real Madrid had gone 3 games unbeaten before the debacle at the Bernabeu against Barcelona. So they are pretty confident of what they can do, even though, yes, they are 12th in the Champions League standings. So you look at the Milan lineup, they've got in defense Emerson Royal, Malik Thiaw, Fikayo Tomori, Theo Hernandez ahead of Mike Maignan. Then they have Yusuf Fofana, Tijani Reinders. They'll make up the midfield double pivots once again. And I think that would be interesting to see how Real are going to circumvent it, considering that, you know, there've been questions about how the transitions have been quick, how they've been able to deal with teams that load the midfield against them this season as well. Yunus Musa is also starting the game. Christian Pulisic, Rafael Leao, they'll all be in a 4-3-3 system. You know, Musa, Fofana, and Pulisic will be there. And then the American will be playing as a right wing back. So that should be quite interesting to watch. So it's Maignan, Emerson, Thiaw, Tomori, Theo Hernandez, Fofana, Reinders, Musa, Pulisic, Leao, and Morata against the way Real Madrid are lining up. Should be quite interesting. I think that in answer to your question, what should Real Madrid do to ensure that they get a win from this game? First of all, I think psychologically they should be calm. What happened against Barcelona is, you know, quite a while. In football terms, it's a long time ago. And so they should just treat this as just another game. And I think that they'll be fine. I was hearing and I was seeing that Jude Bellingham's new role this season is probably going to be going to be seen tonight, you know, playing behind those two in there. It should be interesting to see how they adapt. I don't know what you think, Klinton, and what you think, Alex, as well, about whether his role, where he's going to be reprised the way he played last season when he got so many goals, is going to start tonight. It will be interesting to see if really, really that happens, as we are seeing on the starting 11.
You mentioned that break, Gary, in Klinton, as a amateur footballer yourself, coming off a loss.
Sorry, can you rephrase that? Just start again.
As a you know, enjoyer of playing football on the weekends like yourself, it's been about 10 days since the El Clasico loss. As a player, do you think they were perhaps, you know, obviously it was the right decision to suspend the Valencia game. You know, some things are more important than football, but do you think is it a case of they were glad to have the break, or do you think that they were, because of the loss, so eager, very eager to get back into things and right the wrongs, perhaps, and they would have wanted to play at the weekend?
I mean, I think there's no wrong or right answer to what you just asked. Firstly, them having this whole time of training, especially with, a Champions League game, as this important. I mean, there's a difference between if they were playing against, say Lille. I mean, I know Lille did beat, Atletico Madrid.
And Real Madrid.
Yeah, and Real Madrid, sorry. Yeah, sorry, okay, so, no, sorry, let me not use Lille. I think that's a wrong example. Okay, let's say Real Madrid...
Albacete.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Albacete.
All right, okay.
Let's right out of the hat, Gary.
Okay, let's say that was a team they were playing today, right? I would feel like, maybe they don't need that, extra kind of training. Real Madrid will always win that kind of game. No matter even if they perform badly. I mean, we've seen games where they've performed really badly, but they've somehow won, right? This one with AC Milan, I think it was good that having their last game against Barcelona, the El Clasico, and they lost, they needed that time to kind of think. Like Gary did mention, he says one of the first things they will be thinking about doing is being on a better state mentally, psychologically. I mean, this is very important. And that's why just before when we started, I did mention, I said, how is the fact that they lost in their own home against Barcelona, and it wasn't just a loss, it was a fatal loss, right? What mental state would they be in going into such a huge game? Yeah. Now, if they had played Valencia and they had won, there's some level of confidence that they would have had to say, okay, we are still Madrid. We've just played another game and we've just won. Now, maybe we just need to think about the fact that this is now a tougher game, and let's see how we are going to hold on this winning spirit and forget. Because the thing is, one win would have cancelled one loss. Yeah. Two different teams, but it was still in the La Liga. So So now coming into the Champions League, they would have felt like, okay, yeah, good, we're good. We did play well. This worked for us. Whatever Ancelotti wants to do in this game, with this experiment, Gary said, from the lineup, Bellingham is not going to play on that wing where he was scoring the goals last season. Now, maybe, who knows? They would have tried it with Valencia, and maybe if he had worked, there would have been some level of high confidence going into this one. But now, what's going to happen now is this is now a trial. They've not been playing like that the whole of this season, right? And coming out from such a loss from Barcelona, there's going to be maybe that level of fear that, what if this does not work? What's going to be our position on the pitch? But I'm looking at that lineup. I still don't feel extremely confident. Especially knowing that it's going to be the start in a competition like the Champions League. So, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. Anything could happen. It could go there. Maybe if they win the game, they would have been like, oh, yes, because they've had this whole long time of training, right? But then if they lose the game, they would have said, oh, yes, because of the low confidence from losing against Barcelona. Do you see? So we cannot really pinpoint. Fam, God, let this game just start. I want to see.
We've got some predictions in the comments. Do send us in your predictions, guys. Who do you think is going to win? Will Real Madrid right the wrongs of El Clasico, or will AC Milan pull off an upset? We've got Michael Thompson saying Real Madrid to win 3-1. Marking Day saying Real Madrid will score 6, which is quite something.
Wait, let's laugh at that once more. Let's just give you 30 seconds of laugh. 30 seconds, please.
Before we move on to the other big game tonight, which is of equal importance, I'm going to ask for a prediction from both of you. Gary, how do you see this one going? What's your prediction?
AC Milan both teams to score, but Real Madrid to win, so maybe 2-1, very narrow, I think.
Okay. Klinton?
I see this game being a 3-1. Now the question is, who has the 3 goals? Ha! God, please speak for your servant, hear it. God, please speak. 3-1, because I see it. I see 3-1.
3-1 to Real Madrid? No,
I don't know. I'm just trying, because I saw the score, but I'm just trying to see the team that God is saying. Just let's go on to the next thing. Just give me 5 minutes, because God is drinking water somewhere. So
I want it now.
Okay, so you want me to give you my prediction, not the one I'm hearing?
Yeah, your prediction, the one that Klinton Cod thinks.
Okay, but as a Real Madrid fan, I'm going to go 3-1 to Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Goals from...
I see the goal coming from Mbappe, actually.
Mbappe?
I see Mbappe scoring a goal. I do not see Vinicius scoring a goal today for some bizarre reason. I mean, I'm hearing this one loud and clear, actually. This one is... I do not... But the other one person I see scoring today, God, speak. Hold on. I'm seeing it. It's coming. Something is interfering with what I'm hearing.
Gary,
But
this is where you've got to do your echoey voice and say, Chouamani. Let it echo out through the studio for Klinton to hear. We'll move on to the other big game tonight. It is another big game tonight in the Champions League. We've got Liverpool against Bayer Leverkusen. Your man Victor Boniface up against Virgil van Dijk. So I'll run you through the teams for tonight at Anfield. We've got Kevin Kelleher in goal for Liverpool. Obviously, Alisson still out with an injury. Trent at right back, Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk at centre back. Konstantinos Tsimikas. That's a bit of a mouthful there. Curtis Jones, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz making up that front three. For Bayer Leverkusen, we've got Hradecki in goal, Tapsoba, Jonathan Tah and Piero Hincapié in a back three. You've got Grimaldo at left wing back, Jeremy Frimpong at right wing back, Ezequiel Palacios, Granit Xhaka, Alex Garcia, Florian Wirtz and Victor Boniface up front. Gary, it's a big one. Arne Slot's men took the lead at the top of the table in the Premier League at the weekend. They are 2 points ahead of Manchester City. They've started perfectly in the Champions League. It's been an ideal start for Arne Slot. How do you see this one going? Do you think the Anfield crowd will be too much for Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen?
My first instinct will be yes, and the reason will be that I think Arne Slot has built a very solid mentality, both for the players and for the fans. So the fans know not to give up at any point, and we saw that in their last game, right? One of the strengths of this team, and I was reading that Arne Slot himself was saying in the last hour or so before this game, he was saying that one of the strengths of this Liverpool team is that they know they can fight back, the spirit of Istanbul, whatnot. But in recent years, they've had some pretty good fight backs as well. And they did that this weekend against Brighton. Because we saw that the first half was quite poor from Liverpool and very good from Brighton. And I think they can do it again. They have that character. They've got that quality. What may bother them, don't forget, is that they only have 4 attackers available at the moment. And there are a lot of games to be played. So if you look at the starting 11, Darwin Núñez is not there. And the coach says that he didn't choose Darwin because he's played a lot of games recently. And he feels that, today is a good day to be on the bench for him. That gives you an idea of his thinking. So Xabi Alonso coming into this game may have changed the system to play with 3 midfielders. 3 midfielders. So Liverpool have to be ready for those scenarios. For Xabi Alonso, inevitably there were going to be questions about, oh wow, how do you feel coming back, to the place where you made a lot of great memories and all that. And I like Xabi Alonso's answer. He says, I don't have time for tourism. I think that was a really good answer. He says, I don't have time for tourism. And we know from his management style that he's all business and then sentiment later. So I think it will be a good game. I don't know if you've gone through the starting 11s in terms of who will do what as well. But Xabi Alonso has made 2 changes to the Leverkusen side. That was held to the goalless draw by Stuttgart. So there's Ezequiel Palacios and Alex Garcia. Robert Andrich and Nodi Mukiele are injured, especially Nodi Mukiele. So that is what it will be like. But apart from that, it's another Anfield night in Liverpool. I mean, as special as Champions League nights are at Santiago Bernabeu, they are also quite special historically at Anfield. And I think this would be a very, very good game from a Leverkusen side that do not fear anybody in Europe right now, and especially when there's so much sentiment attached to Xabi Alonso returning to Liverpool. My prediction will be that Liverpool will win, but only just.
It is, of course, true. Xabi Alonso, Liverpool legend. There were rumours that he was going to head to Anfield after Jurgen Klopp announced he was leaving You look at this matchup, and there's one particular battle I want to ask you about, Klinton.
Of course, I know.
Victor Boniface against that centre-back pairing of Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk. How do you see that one going? That is a battle for the ages, isn't it?
Honestly, I think this is an easy win for Liverpool. I mean, I know you didn't ask me who's going to win, but I'm not going to hide my mouth. I understand that I want some...
Klinton God does what he wants.
No,
Answers his own question.
I asked myself the question in my head and I answered. I'm looking at that game. I don't see Victor Boniface going past Van Dijk and Konate. Listen, I feel. Remember we were talking on this show. I think it was with Gary was here when I was trying to compare Konate, Van Dijk versus Gabriel and Saliba, right? And I said that for me, in my opinion, Konate and Van Dijk, those two, God have mercy. Listen, hi Boniface. Boniface, sorry, you don't die today. Sorry, you are a goner. Right now, this is the only day you are allowed to be an Arsenal guy because you are gone, bro. Oh, no, all right. Boniface, I'm praying for you. I pray that you get your goal. Even if you guys don't win, but I just want you to score. I just want you to see you happy. And but now it's going to be a very tough one. Liverpool, they are currently on fire. They are literally the best team in the Premier League currently, more stronger than in Manchester City. So it's going to be a really tough one. If Xabi Alonso does come out with a win on this one, then I would say, this man is ready to literally be the manager of Real Madrid, when Ancelotti would have gone from maybe people having less confidence in his ability. But yeah, sorry to Bayer Leverkusen, man.
Gary, it's not been as plain sailing for Bayer Leverkusen this season. They've only got one win from their last 5, obviously unbeaten in their last 5 in the league. This, so-called new team in the Bundesliga, I guess, obviously, that they've always been battling for a top 4 spot, but winning the title at Canter last year. Do you think that perhaps, obviously Xabi Alonso has now realised that he can beat the likes of Bayern Munich and he can compete with the rest in Europe, but do you think he's perhaps thinking, I am now ready for a new challenge? And obviously Klinton mentioned there, the likes of Carlo Ancelotti perhaps moving on at the end of the season. There's jobs like Liverpool. At the moment, Arne Slot looks like he'll stay for a while now. But do you think he's looking at the other jobs available in Europe and thinking, I'm ready for my next challenge?
He should be. Why? Because I feel like, after the success of last season, it was inevitable that all the top dogs, all the top guns in Europe will come calling. I think he made the right call by choosing to stay at Bayer Leverkusen in order to prove to everybody that what he did last season was not a fluke. So even if he does not win Bundesliga this season, and with the way Bayern Munich are playing, they are going on and off sometimes, and Vincent Kompany as well, it's a realistic expectation to expect Xabi Alonso to look at winning the title and retaining the title again. Assuming he doesn't, and he has a strong top 2, top 3 finish, in my book, he still is relevant in terms of being in the conversation for the top clubs as well, in Europe. And in that sense, I feel like if an opportunity comes at the end of this season from any of the European royalty or the top clubs, the top 4 clubs in any of the top 5 leagues, or the top 2, 3 clubs in any of the top 5 leagues, especially in England, in Spain, he should absolutely jump and go for it as the next step up, because these opportunities don't come often. Unless he has plans of being like a Leverkusen coaching legend or something like that. But if he really wants to go to the next level and an opportunity comes, like, has come for Ruben Amorim and he's grabbed it with both hands, he should take it, I believe, by the end of the season and try and show that what he did with Leverkusen, although it's great, he's able to replicate it across leagues, get some history for himself as well. So, yeah, that's my thought process on Xabi Alonso. And I think that he's like Amorim. Amorim is 39, Xabi Alonso is 42, but they have the same daring personality. They are all yearning to explore. They are all very good former players, legends in their own right, and they are very cerebral. They know what they want, and they are among the next breed of exciting coaches in Europe. You should absolutely go for it if an offer comes and there's an opening somewhere. I'll be looking forward to that.
It's, a chance for not just Xabi Alonso, Klinton, but for some of the players. Boniface, he's obviously happy at Bayer Leverkusen. He's doing really well. We talked to him and, he said he didn't want to play in the Premier League. Yeah. But Do you think perhaps nights like these where, obviously going to a stadium like Anfield, it's special, like Gary said, arguably one of the most special feelings playing in the Champions League when you hear the song at the beginning of the anthem, You'll Never Walk Alone, with 50,000 people singing it. Do you think nights like these maybe will make him think, actually the Premier League might not be a bad idea?
I mean, I don't think this would be the first time he's probably been to England. I mean, he's probably been to matches here and there. And obviously from that interview, you heard him, he said that, even before he had a passport, he never saw himself playing. I think if there's any reason why he would play in the Premier League, it might be maybe his mom is probably a coach in one of the clubs, and then he would be like, yeah, I want to be with my mom. But from the way he sounded, he didn't sound like somebody who wants to play, in the Premier League at all. But then again, that phrase, you never know. You can never say never. I won't be surprised if I see Victor Boniface playing for Arsenal. Because right now they need a proper striker.
I know someone who would be very happy with that. Gary, you look at how well Victor Boniface is doing, both for club and country. He's, performed at both levels. Do you think he has the calibre to make it in the league, such as the Premier League?
Absolutely. What does he require? To be a number 9, a sharp shooter, somebody who can hold the ball up and bring players into play, run off challenges, run off the shoulder of balls. He's got all that in his locker. And if you have a midfield as good and as fit on a good day as Odegaard and the rest, absolutely, it's every number 9's dream to have such a midfield behind you. And even though he says he doesn't want to play with he doesn't dream, or it's not an obsession for him. I mean, football players, as we know, they change environments a lot. And when the right offer comes and it comes at the right time, sometimes football players just know that this feels right. If even it's not in the league that you want, sometimes you know that this feels right. If a Liverpool come calling that they want a number 9 in the mold of Haaland or whatever, and it's Victor Boniface that they are looking at for money, the reasons that he's available, so availability reasons, financially it makes sense. They can agree a good deal with him. He looks at the project and he sees the caliber of players around him that can help him be a top marksman in the Premier League and in Europe and increase his profile. Absolutely, he will take it. If it's Arsenal, absolutely, he will take it. Look at Chelsea. What didn't we say, or what didn't people say about Nicholas Jackson? He was widely derided. He's taking his good time, but he's coming good. What didn't people say about Moses Caicedo? I mean, Enzo Maresca is now saying that he feels that the Moses Caicedo problem that happened last season was just because of the price tag, and that people forget that footballers are not machines. Sometimes they are bound to have off days, and so if people like Boniface and other players coming from other leagues have that mindset that you are not going to be a Luis Suarez that's going to get into Liverpool and hit the ground running, or a Mo Salah and hits the ground running, sometimes it's going to take time, and you sell this project to them. Why wouldn't he want a team like Liverpool or a top 3, top 4 team in the Premier League to increase his profile or to enlarge his course? I think that he'll be a great fit for any Premier League club, especially in the top 4 as well. And I'm backing him all the way if he decides to change his mind and play in the Premier League. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think, the world is his oyster. As we said, he's performing very well for both club and country. We have some other games tonight. PSV and Girona has just finished. PSV beating Girona 4-0 and Slovan Bratislava losing 4-1 at home to Dinamo Zagreb. Klinton, I'm going to talk about Man City against Sporting. Ruben Amorim, the upcoming Manchester United manager-elect, so to speak. What do you think is going through his head tonight? Because obviously he said, the Manchester City job was something that he'd considered in the past, but he is fully focused on Manchester United. That is his job. He is the Man United manager as of, the next international break. What do you think is going through his head tonight against an unbelievably tough side like Manchester City?
I mean, first of all, I think he will feel very happy that they don't have their powerhouse for Manchester City. You don't have Kevin De Bruyne. You don't have Rodri. So I'm imagining this how he's thinking, right? Okay, we don't have their 2 most important players, so we should find a way to win. Knowing how tactical he is when it comes to him being a manager, I think he's playing an average team. Okay. Now, whatever he's been doing with Sporting back in Portugal, fact is, I would not imagine that he's having any kind of tension going on within him, right? You could clearly see that he's a very confident manager. And apart from being a very confident manager, he might want to prove a point to say, listen, I'm going to be the manager to the rival club, or will I say the club that, literally, we are just next door neighbors, right? When he's not going to be elect, it's literally going to be the guy doing the job at that point, right? So I'm sure the best thing he want to do is to win the game today. It's going to be a very good entry into him being a Manchester United manager. If he loses the game today, what's going to happen is people are going to say, all right, okay, Doesn't mean they're going to take confidence, they're going to feel like, yeah, we don't have confidence in this man. But the best thing that should be happening, to Ruben is him winning Manchester City. Now the question is, can he do it in Manchester City?
That's a good question.
Can he do it, Gary?
Well, look, I listened to his, just before we came on air, I found his interview very, very, very lovely interview, with Sky, where for about 5 minutes he was asked about his emotions playing against Manchester City, who, as you said, he's considered before, him knowing that Man United fans will be watching, a lot of English fans will be watching as well. And he said he's only focused on the fact that this is his final game at the Alvalade. That's the Sporting home. And he wants to leave, on a high because of what it means. Because if Sporting win, if they lose, that means that they are going into the playoff, I believe. If it's only win or loss for one of them, sorry. But they will go into the playoff if they have a good result, I believe. And he wants to leave that as a great legacy before he goes to Manchester United. But I will be watching for other reasons. Obviously, Klinton has mentioned one, the Kevin De Bruyne factor. How are Manchester City going to still react without him? If you look at the starting lineup, I'm looking at it right now. Haaland is in, which is good news. But then they have Ederson, Luis, Simpson, Puse, Akanji, Vardio, Kovacic, Bernardo, Fabinho, Foden, Nunes, and Haaland. For me, far more interesting is the Sporting lineup, because this is the first time a lot of neutral fans and English football fans are going to have a good look at Gyökeres, right? In a high-stakes game against a high-stakes opposition like Manchester City. Now, the background is that this guy used to play in the Championship, and he scored a handful of goals for Coventry. People were not convinced. He has gone to Sporting, and he's scoring like a banshee, you know what I'm saying? And he scored, 16 goals in 20 games? Right now, people still feel that it's not convincing because it's only Sporting. And people have said that, remember Bas Dost, Alex? Klinton, you remember Bas Dost? And how he was scoring for fun for Sporting?
The name does ring a bell.
Bas Dost, and then when he went to a so-called proper league, he couldn't replicate the form. But I think that Gyökeres is the real deal, because after doing it in the Championship and the kind of finisher he is, I think that he's a proper striker that eventually, after leaving Sporting, he's going to replicate it in any team in Europe. However, it's on nights like this that you need players like Gyökeres to show their real quality, and I can't wait to look at that as well. So he's going to be leading the line with support to be provided in attack by Francisco Trincao and Pedro Goncalves as well. So it's going to be a good game from the managerial point of view, everything that has been said. Remember, Ruben Amorim has said that Pep Guardiola is his personal. For him, Pep is the best coach in the world as well. So it would be nice to watch somebody he considers his idol and how he faces the challenge also. My prediction will be, and I know you are going to ask, is that Man City are going to beat Sporting, but Sporting are going to give a good account of themselves.
Klinton, have you got a prediction for this one? Do you think Man City will handle business, or can Sporting pull off an upset?
I feel like the game is going to be 1-1.
1-1?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I heard this one real loud and clear. It's
someone speaking to you again.
Yeah, no, I heard this one. It just came. Usually the spirits would take time.
Sure you're not going crazy?
Especially with old age, right?
Yeah. almost as old as Ruben Amorim there, taking over at Man United. I want to ask you, Klinton, about Victor Gyökeres. You know, Man United have had quite the trouble with strikers over the last couple of years. You know, you look at some of the names that they've had. You know, obviously this season, Højlund being, you know, the main one recently. Xerxes trying to come in, trying to find his feet, but not managing to. Do you agree with that fact, obviously, that Gary said, obviously, you know, this is the chance for Gyökeres to prove himself on the big stage. He has done it in the Champions League. He has done it for Sporting Clube de Portugal in the Portuguese league. But do you think he's the sort of calibre player that you would want at Manchester United? Or do you still have that doubt in your mind because of the step up in quality between the Portuguese league and the Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this game is just going to give us that, you know, that answer we want. Truth is, when I look at Manchester United, Zexi is definitely not the guy I want from Manchester. I mean, his first game in Manchester, I thought that, okay, maybe, because, you know, Zexi is that kind of player where he's very good at that one touch, you know, just, you know, quick kind of football. And, but obviously I expected more from him. And so far, so good in the season. I just feel like he's nowhere near. He's nowhere near a Manchester United caliber of player. You know, if he goes to, say, he's not even a caliber of he wouldn't even survive in Nottingham Forest. I mean, Nottingham Forest, yeah, Ted. I think right now I'll be looking at him going to a place like Crystal Palace or something. But I think what's his name, Gyökeres. You know, with everything, literally. Right now, I would even empty. I would go over draft for him to come to Manchester United.
Really?
And yeah, definitely. I feel like if Ruben eventually, you know, there was a rumor that he was going to bring him with him. Yeah, that was some of the things that gave me joy. It wasn't just about him coming to Manchester. You know, I just want for me, you know, and you know how much I've told you guys that I have really, really low confidence in the forwards of Manchester United. Obviously, apart from, you know, Garnacho, apart from Marcus Rashford, you know, that's nine for Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund is still not the guy for me. Okay, we are looking for that striker that you would sleep and wake up, you see the scoreline, you just know when you click, you see the name written there to say, just the same way we see with Haaland, right? Whenever Manchester City plays, if there is 2 goals or 3 goals, somehow, maybe it doesn't happen always, especially with the fact that Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri, you know, they are not there. Even Savinho is beginning to, you know, do some crazy stuff for. Somehow, these young boys are literally trying to do what these elderly men who are not there we're doing. You know, so for me, with Manchester United, we still don't have that kind. We are still looking for that guy. There's nobody in Manchester United that's doing that number 9 job so far. I just feel like we're just under management, like we're just managing the resources that we have. They brought in Zexi, and when he came in my head, I was like, oh man, okay, that first game, I wouldn't say the first game was like extremely perfect, no. But we felt like, okay, there's some level of, you know, he's going to come into the game and then he's going to be a beast. But so far, definitely not, man. I really hope that Gyökeres would be the guy that would eventually be that, you know, Manchester United number 9 when the time comes. But yeah.
I think Markinde disagrees with you on this one. He says, if Man United need another striker, I'm willing to take a pay cut. Looks like you're getting a pay cut, Markinde, because I wouldn't be surprised if Victor Gyökeres comes in. He's also saying Gyökeres will be another 100 million flop, believe me. I think, you know, it seems likely that he will come to Old Trafford with Ruben Amorim. But obviously it is Sporting against Manchester City. Just a quick look at Guardiola's side. You know, 7 points from 3 games. Klinton, you know, the title seems like it's between them and Liverpool at the moment. You know, that is the battle. Arsenal have dropped out of the top 4. Sorry, Gary, I had to say it. And you look at them in the Champions League. You know, last season they obviously got knocked out by Real Madrid. They have won it, you know, the season before against Inter Milan. Do you think for Guardiola, coming into this last season, obviously he wants to win both, but, you know, what is the priority for him? You know, do you think he wants to add another Champions League? Because, you know, winning 4 Premier Leagues in a row is unbelievably impressive. He obviously wants to go for that 5th, but do you think there's something about it, his feeling at the time of the club? And I think he has said this, that he would have liked to have done better in the Champions League since he's been here. He's only won the 1 Champions League at Man City. Do you think that is probably resting on the back of his mind, do you reckon?
Definitely, I think, because at the end of the day, what you got to understand is Champions League is literally the highest level of competition when it comes to European football, and I don't think there's any manager. I think it's like the pinnacle of any manager's wish. It's like, yeah, every manager would right now want to be like Ancelotti that has all this stack of Champions League. How many titles does Ancelotti have? I think
Ancelotti, as a player, he has 4, if I'm not mistaken. And
no, I'm talking about as a manager.
as a manager, I think he has 5.
Right.
I think.
Ooh, 5?
Could be wrong.
I think it was
5.
about, okay, I mean, I was thinking it was just about 4.
Yeah, 5 Champions Leagues.
Which, come on, that's him overdoing stuff. Yeah. So obviously, if he retires, I feel like there's nothing he's not really achieved in football. For Pep Guardiola, he's done it when it comes to English football. I mean, there's nothing to prove at this point. If say, for example, Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri didn't have the injury that they have currently, we would have been saying, I mean, even when they were playing, what was most of us already said, yeah, again, it's just going to be the usual story. It's going to be Manchester City again. But all this upset that's been going on with Manchester City is only because, you know, you don't have their engine room, you don't have the powerhouse, you don't have the heartbeat of this team. And that's why we have this slight shake, you know, going on with Manchester City. Now it's seeming like it's going the Liverpool way, right? Maybe it wouldn't have if Manchester was complete. Now, I think this Champions League football is where his heart would be because there's nothing to prove in England anymore. I mean, he's proven it in the Champions League just once. But when you have something won, it's almost like you need one just in case. If people say it's a fluke, no, okay, what about when I got it the second time? Wait, but it was only just twice. And remember, you got the first one, and then later on, you got, you know, I had a few. And you'll be like, what, I have 3. Okay, so would you call 3 a fluke? Obviously not.
It's
so
that Jose Mourinho quote where he goes, 3, respect.
well, exactly. You know what I mean? So, no, I think Pep Guardiola will be looking at this Champions League football with 2 eyes, you know, saying this is exactly what I want.
Well, there we have about time for just the most important games tonight. There are some more games going on. We've got Bologna against Monaco, Borussia Dortmund against Sturm Graz. We've got Celtic against RB Leipzig, Lille against Juventus. Lille obviously beating Atletico and Real Madrid in their 2 of their 3 opening games. And then, of course, Liverpool by Leverkusen, Real Madrid versus AC Milan, and Sporting Club de Portugal against Manchester City. Do stick around after this, as it is Plymouth versus Portsmouth on SportyTV, and Klinton and I will be in the Sporty Corner doing a watch-along for tonight's games. And hopefully we've got some goals. So thank you, Gary, for joining us. Thank you, Klinton, and enjoy the football.
Real Madrid wins. Oh, la, la.